question is from Jose Benales. How do you guys stay healthy during long road trips? Do you meal prep or get food on the road?
Staying healthy is easy. Making gains or progress during those times is what I think is challenging.
Yeah, very challenging.
So it really depends on where I'm currently at. Like if I'm in a space of I've set a goal, I'm going to change my body fat percentage, or I'm going to build X amount of muscle, or I'm on like a really strict program, both diet and exercise, then I make the time, which means it may mean I pack my food. It may mean that I get away for an hour to go get to the gym, regardless of what we're doing. But for the most part, and where I'm currently at right now, where I'm not competing or training for anything like that, staying healthy on a trip is not that hard. And I think that we overcomplicate that. I think that I think the beauty is that you actually should be able to enjoy yourself while you're on vacation or a trip like that. Like this is a time when I actually would have a glass of wine or a beer with the guys, or go eat out at a restaurant and have a steak and maybe an appetizer and stuff like that. And I think that where people go wrong is they either overindulge on that they go to the whole restrict binge, they restrict so hard all the time, and then they go on their vacation and they they binge and they go crazy, or they allow a trip like that to start the spiraling process of, I ate like shit all weekend, then I get back, I'm not in the mood to exercise, I'm not in the mood to eat well, and then that becomes like this downhill spiral. But honestly, the damage that you would have to do over a 2 to 5 day vacation, the amount of calorie surplus that you would have to eat every single day to really change your body, to where you fucked it up and put a bunch of body fat on, that's a lot of calories.
Yeah, highly unlikely.
Yeah, unless you're overdoing it. You're really binging while you're on vacation. If you come back and you put 5 pounds or 10 pounds of real body fat,
which does happen. I mean, some people will go a little bit, crazy, but I totally agree. I think it's way overhyped, especially because most of these trips aren't as long in comparison to your entire journey for the year. Even this is a blip that you're going to kind of just go through. But at the same time, we have found, and I have found, that anytime now scheduling something in terms of a vacation, it's way more beneficial for me to find a house or find something that has a kitchen or whatever, so I could stockpile stuff. I go to a grocery store there and actually eat it, and it helps a little bit with the food decisions and the choices, because it does, in terms of how I feel coming back to the gym and all that, it does play a factor, but it's not the end all be all. It depends on what kind of trip I'm taking.
Look at your health. If you're really concerned about your health, because the only people I see who are going to have struggle with this are the super body obsessed, fanatical, maybe slightly food issue, body issue type people. But everybody else, if you're I'm worried about my health and whatever, okay, consider this. First of all, if you look at your health, it's this big sphere that contains lots of different components, and diet and exercise are part of that. But there's also leisure and connections with friends, and those play an important role in your health. In fact, there was a huge study done by Harvard that showed that the relationships you have in your life play a bigger role in your health by themselves than exercise does by itself and diet does by itself. They also showed that having poor relationships was as bad for your health as smoking 15 to 20 cigarettes every single day. So if you're a health-conscious person, you're super fit, you work out all the time, you eat really well, and you're oh my God, I have a 7-day vacation in Cabo with my wife or my husband and my friends, what am I going to do? You know what you're going to do? You're going to focus on the other side of your health, which is
going to party.
The relationships with your friends, the relationships with your family, the enjoyment of the place that you're in. That will do more for your health than going there and stressing about your diet and exercise and pissing people off around you.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
And not nurturing your relationships.
Now, do you guys do anything different leading up to that? I know I'm not going on vacation, but I fly out on Friday. And it's just the fact that I'm traveling. I got to fly. Anytime I got to fly, it normally throws off my training, throws off my eating. So I know that's already a day that's going to be challenging for me, right? When I know that I'm flying out, or I know that I'm taking a weekend vacation, or I know where Katrina and I are heading up to Sanctuary, I tend to really tighten up the reins on myself the week leading up to that. So I know that I have kind of this buffer during that trip. So, I'm always eating good. I'm always training, but I eat extra good or don't miss my training or train extra hard that week leading up to a vacation to help with that buffer. So I don't have to stress about that. I think to me, the week leading up and the week after a vacation is more important than what actually happens on the vacation.
So I used to do that, right? I used to do that with diet where I'd eat much more strict leading up to it, but I found that led more to
more binging.
Yeah, more toward the tendency of now I'm going into my vacation feeling a little restricted, and then I'm like, yes, I'm finally here. I don't have to eat this way anymore. Type of mentality. So now I'm just the same walking in. Now with workouts, that's different because with workouts, I'll say to myself, now depending on where I'm going, if I'm going somewhere, let's say it's just Jessica and I, we both love working out. It's fun. We tend to book things with gyms and then we'll schedule the workouts, and that's part of the vacation. We have a lot of fun doing that. But if I'm going somewhere with other family members or there's not going to be a gym, I'll just work out a little harder the week leading up to it, and then I'll use that as kind of recovery time. But otherwise, I tell you what, if you're really freaking out about what you're going to eat and what you're going to do, and that can A, lead to the binge mentality, or B, make it so that you're not really gaining the full benefit of this vacation or trip. When you go on a vacation, this took me a long time to learn, dude. I used to go and I would do that. I would get shredded leading into a vacation. Then on the vacation, I'd fucking just go crazy. Now what I do is I go and I eat out and stuff, but I'm not stuffing my face. I'm enjoying the food. I'm actually tasting it and enjoying it. And workouts, if they're there, they're there. If they're not, they're not. Depends who if I'm with you guys or again with Jessica, probably work out because we all like doing it. If I'm not, then I'm not going to force everybody to do that. It's not that big of a deal. But I think people freak out so much about this because they're like, oh my God, I'm going to take 5 days off. It's going to ruin my body. It's going to ruin my health. It's not. It's not going to do that.
I don't have any hysteria towards it. I think just in terms of my own enjoyment, I do like to either be active or like focus a little bit more on maybe not going, so extreme with the eating. I know it'll be there, but I'll try and make better decisions. It's like one or the other. I don't like coming back just like both factors have been way off kilter, and then I just hate that feeling when you come back.
Well, it's hard to get going again.
Yeah.
That's why I think the week before and the week after are more important than the actual week of the trip, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because a lot of times when you go, crazy with the food and you don't eat any and you don't exercise, the first day back, rarely from vacation like that, very few people are disciplined enough to make it in the gym that day. And typically that week of vacation or 5 days or whatever it was is what normally sends people on the I'm off the wagon now. That's what kicked off the wagon.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, going into that week and the coming out of that week is more important than the actual week. Now, I also don't think that you should restrict so hard that you binge. I think that's a good point that Sal brings up, and I'm probably in my early years, I didn't have as good of a relationship with food. I probably did something similar. Now I just know, because I have a very balanced diet right now. It's easy for me to maintain about 12 to 14% body fat. That's not like super lean for me. It's not a lot of sacrifice. It means I can have a burger when I want it. It means I can have fries every once in a while. It means that I can enjoy things. I can enjoy a soda that has sugar in it every now and then. I could eat a half pound of grapes. It means I can do things like that and still keep maintaining balance. Now, knowing that I have somewhere to go on Friday, I just tighten it up a tiny bit. Like maybe this week I won't have a burger out because more than likely I'll probably have something eating out on Friday when I'm traveling. So that's what I mean by tighten things up is the foods or the things that I would kind of let myself eat outside the normal quote unquote healthy or ideal foods. I tend to say I'm probably going to do that by chance because I'm flying on Friday, and I'll probably eat in a hotel or eat inside of an airport at one point, and the choices that I have there, I don't want to stress about them. If it's a burger, it's a burger, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to worry about it because I had a great week leading up to this, and I plan to be right back on the wagon when I'm back from the trip.
Now I do want to address people who travel a lot because that's different, right? People who travel a lot for work. Now you have to. Now, yes, it makes sense to pay attention to workouts and nutrition when you're gone because maybe you're gone 5 days out of every month.
Right.
There are people that travel like
Yeah,
this.
true.
In which case, here's a couple tips that you can do that I think should help. Most restaurants will have a meat and vegetable option. That's usually a good option. It's usually a good option to have a plate of vegetables and then have some kind of meat. It tends to keep calories low. It's satiating, gives you all the essential nutrients that you may
You don't
need.
even need to look at the menu, really. You just need to like order that and like see what they come up with.
Yeah, and ask them. Say, hey, can I get a side of vegetables? What vegetables do you have? And oftentimes they'll have broccoli or asparagus as a side. You can order that. You can order your meat. If you want some starches, most places will offer a baked potato, which is a very clean, quote unquote, clean form of carbohydrate. As far as workouts are concerned, Maps Anywhere is a great program. That's why we designed it. We designed it specifically for people like this. Body weight exercises. And if you don't want to buy the program and just like, hey, what can you give me advice-wise in terms of workouts? 30-minute daily body weight workouts are a great way to kind of maintain fitness. And that's where you can pick, 3 or 4 exercises that are body weight, that are challenging, and do them every morning for 30 minutes. Just wake up, and if you're gone for 5 days, that means 5 days every morning, 30 minutes, you're doing some body weight exercises just to keep your body moving. That should maintain your fitness for when you get back home. Maps Anywhere would be even better than that. Obviously, it's a well-programmed workout that might even take your fitness to a better level. But for those people, I'd say then, yeah, you want to pay attention because you're traveling so often.